Well, welcome to today's webinar, everyone. Discover Paris with Corsair and Agencia Global. This webinar is brought to you by Baxter Media, and I'm your host, Zephan McMillan, Virtual Events Coordinator at Baxter Media, and today is Wednesday, May 3rd. Our presenters today are Ayla from Corsair and Jimmy from Agencia Global. Ayla and Jimmy will be answering your questions at the end of the webinar, so please feel free to type any questions you may have into the public chat box in the Q&A section. You'll see that to the right of your screen, and we will answer them live at the end of the webinar, so stay tuned for that. Please remember, this is a live webinar, so your patience is appreciated during any technical difficulties that may arise. The webinar is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be sent to all registrants within about 24 hours once it's processed. And Jimmy is going to be announcing the details for the prize at the beginning of the webinar, and then I think he'll touch on it at the end too. But we're just so happy to have Ayla and Jimmy here from Corsair and Agencia Global, and they are going to get started here. So I will turn it over to them without further ado. And thank you so much for being here, everyone. Jimmy and Ayla, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Jimmy, you want to start before I start?
Sure, I'll say a quick hello. Hi, everyone. So my name is Jimmy. I'm the Director of Sales over at Agencia Global. We're a consolidator based in Montreal with offices in Montreal as well as Atlanta. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us on this webinar. And yes, as Zephan mentioned, we do have a raffle prize up for grabs. So it's a $250 Visa gift card. A couple of conditions to meet to qualify for it, but we're going to make it really simple for you. Number one, we ask that you attend the webinar in its entirety through the Q&A as well. Number two, you need to register for an account on Agencia Global. It's free. Don't worry about that. If you're joining us on this webinar as an existing Agencia Global agent, then you already have covered that. It applies to all agents, new and existing. And then finally, we ask that you make at least one Corsair booking in the month of May. And there's a little extra in it for you when you do make that booking, which I'll get to at my part of the presentation. But I'll cede the floor to Ayla, since she's going to provide you with some updates before I talk about Agencia. So Ayla, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jimmy. So hi, everyone. My name is Ayla Kalpakjan. I'm the representative of Corsair. I'm based in Montreal. I'm very happy to be part of this webinar with Jimmy, and I'm very excited to give you some overview and presentation of Corsair product. I don't know, maybe some people they know about Corsair, some people they don't know. Where do we fly? So I would like just to go over all this update with you. So if you don't mind to start with my presentation, I'm gonna turn off my camera to start. So here we go. So Corsair. This is like the summary that I'm going to be talking about. It's the route of Corsair, the destination, the fleet, the cabin, and the other services and product. So where do we fly Corsair? We go to the Caribbean, Indian Ocean, Africa, and Canada. So this is our destination. In Canada, it's Montreal. We fly to Montreal. And in the West Indies, the Caribbean, it will be Guadeloupe and Martinique. And also with Air Antilles, we go to their network. The Indian Ocean, we have the Réunion, Mauritius, Madagascar, and Africa. We have Ivory Coast, we have Benin, and we have Mali. So this is, we will go in details. First, Corsair, they fly from Paris. Paris, it's from the airport Orly. It's not Charles de Gaulle. Airport Orly, it's very close by to Paris city. You will be there in less than 30 minutes. So it's only to Paris. We don't go to other destination in France. What we offer is the train. So we go to 18 stations in France. It's very easy. In your GDS, you have a fare for the train and the airfare. So it's one booking, it's one fare, and it's one ticket. Let's say an example from Montreal to Marseille, it will be Montreal to Paris Orly with the flight Corsair, and then you can take the shuttle. They will take you with the shuttle. It's free of charge. You will go to the TGV Massy train station, and then you will continue to your final destination. So no need to buy a plane ticket, no need to buy separately the train and the ticket. It will be in one ticket exactly for the passenger. So the other destination for Africa, we go to Abidjan. It's a daily flight in Ivory Coast. We have Bamako. We're going to start the flight on the 5th of June. It's a 3 flight per week to Bamako. Cotonou, we started last year the new route in November 2022. We have a 3 flights per week. Then we have Madagascar. We have 2 flights. They're going to start per week on the 27th of June. The Caribbean, we have a flight to Martinique and Guadeloupe. It's from Paris to Fort-de-France. We have 9 flights per week. From Paris to Pointe-à-Pitre, we have 11 flights. Also, we have a flight from Nantes to Fort-de-France and from Lyon and Bordeaux to Pointe-à-Pitre. But it's a seasonal. They do it from December till end of April or beginning of May. Then we can connect with Air Antilles. It's one of our partners. Is a code share. If you travel from Paris to Pointe-à-Pitre or Fort-de-France, you can continue with Air Antilles to the West Indies, which is one of the destinations. It's Saint Martin, Saint Lucia, but it will be via Guadeloupe and Martinique. The Indian Ocean, we have 3 destinations. Reunion Island, we have up to 12 flights per week. And also we have a flight direct from Lyon and Marseille, 2 flights per week. Also, there is Mayotte. It's a nice destination. We have 4 flights per week. Also Mauritius, we have 6 flights. Again, we have a flight from Lyon and Marseille. It's 2 flights per week. Now it's Montreal. Montreal, yes, we do have a flight. It's going to start the flight on the 2nd of June. It's a seasonal flight, 7 flights per week. We start from the 2nd of June till the 1st of October. The schedule from Montreal, it's from Montreal to Orly, the departure at 5:20 p.m., the arrival at 6:20 a.m. the next day in Terminal 4, Orly 4. From Paris, Orly, the departure is at 11 a.m. from Terminal 4 and the arrival at 12:45 p.m. So the fleet, just to give you an idea what fleet they have Corsair. They have currently the A330-300. So 2 of them, it's called the Jazz, which is they have 268 seats in economy class, 12 seats in premium, and 11 seats in business class. The Zen, they have 328 seats in economy, 12 seats in premium, and 12 seats in business class. Those 2 aircraft will be operating to Montreal, so they will combine. It depends on the month. Like the peak season, it will be the aircraft with the 328 seats in economy. So this is the map, just to show you the configuration and the business class cabin. We will go over it, but just to show you an idea about this map. This is for the Zen, like the configuration is 3, 3, and 3 in economy. Then we have the new fleet. The new fleet, it's the Airbus 330 Neo. This is the newest fleet on the market and focus on the environment. So Corsair, they have for now 5 Neo 330, and the company will order they order 4 other Neo. So it will be by the end of 2024. So in 2024, Corsair will have the youngest fleet on the market with an average of 2 years. So also this is the map to show you like the configuration of the aircraft. And it's one of the top and modern aircraft. It's very silent, modern, and also they have less 60% noise and pollution and less 25 fuel consumption. And they have a Wi-Fi, they have a latest generation screen, and also the latest generation of mood lighting. It's very quiet and it's very modern. So the cabin, as I mentioned, Corsair, we have three classes of service. We have the economy, the premium, and the business. I just want to show you the difference between the 330 and the 330 Neo. So the economy class with 260, it's actually a 326, but we have 250 seats with a leg room of 82 centimeter. The recline, it's 105. The configuration in the economy, it's 3, 3, and 3. The LCD screen, it's 20 centimeter. Then we have the economy plus. Economy plus, we have 78 seats with a leg room of 86 centimeter. And it's also like it's located in the front section of the economy class. The premium economy, we have a 12 seat with legroom of 94 centimeter, the recline 125 degree, and the configuration is 2, 2, and 2. The LCD screen, it's 25 centimeter. The business class, we have the 12 seat. The bed depth, it's 117. The width of the seat, it's 50 centimeter. The configuration 2, 2, and 2. And the screen is 32 centimeter. So now the new aircraft, the 330 Neo, the difference that the economy, it's 79 centimeter legroom, the seat width it's 43 centimeter, the LCD screen, touch screen, it's 25.4 centimeter, and they have the Wi-Fi. It's available as an option for the economy class. And also economy plus, it's a little bit more legroom. It's 86 centimeter, and the rest, like the configuration, it's 3, 3, and 3 in economy in the Airbus Neo. For the premium class, they have 21 seats, the legroom 94 centimeter, and the recline it's 125. The configuration it's 2, 3, and 2. The LCD screen, it's 33.8. And for the Wi-Fi, it's free in the premium economy up to 20 megabytes. For the business class, they have a 20 seat. It's a full flat bed, and it's 200 centimeter, the bed depth. The width is 53 centimeter. And the LCD screen, it's 39.6. And the Wi-Fi also is free up to 50 megabytes. Now the services on board for the three cabins. In economy class, they have the amenity kit, and for the food, they start with a welcome glass of punch. They have a main course with a drink like soft drink or alcohol, and also they can request a special meal. It's a free of charge, like the gluten-free, the child meal, the vegetarian meal. Unless if they want to order something in a special meal, it's like a prestige or signature. There is an additional cost, and it should be reserved 48 hours in advance. So for the 330, we don't have a Wi-Fi, as I mentioned. For the Neo, yes, there is like a package, 4 different prices. They started from $4 of the Neo. The check-in luggage, it depends on the fare and on the ticket. For the basic, there is no bag. For the classic rate, it's one piece of 23 kg. And for the flex rate, it's 2 pieces of 23 kg. And hand luggage, it's 12 kilograms. For the premium class, the service at the airport and on board. At the airport, they have a dedicated check-in desk. They have access to the priority access, and also they have a special amenity kit for the premium class passenger. For the food, they start with welcoming passenger with a champagne, and they have a choice of 2 hot dishes, specially prepared for the premium economy passenger. And also, if again, maybe this is I didn't mention in economy, if it's a night flight, they have a breakfast. If it's a day flight, they have a snack. And again, also, if they would like to reserve a special meal, it will be 48 hours in advance. And the entertainment, they have more than 100 movies. They have like music. They have a series, kids program, and also the Wi-Fi. For the premium economy, it's free for 20 megabyte. And also very important, for the premium economy, the luggage is 32 kg per bag in premium economy. And also the hand luggage, it's 18 kilogram. Business class, at the airport, again, they have a dedicated desk for the check-in, priority access. They have access to the lounge. And also they have the amenity kit. It's dedicated for the business class with the pure altitude cosmetic. And also they have a choice of 3 menu prepared by a local chef. And also, if they want to reserve the very prestige menu, it should be reserved in advance 48 hours. For the Wi-Fi in business class, they have free for 50 megabytes. And again, of course, like the check-in luggage, it's 2 pieces of 32 per bag. The lounge of Corsair, it's located in Terminal 4. And this is one of the beautiful lounges. I experienced this lounge last year, and I was amazed with the terrace, with the view on the runway. So it was renovated 2 years ago. So if you have passion for the plane, to see the landing and takeoff, so you can enjoy the terrace, you can take your food from the buffet and just enjoy it. So this is a very nice lounge. They have a private relaxation. They have like a workspace, and also they have showers, and it's very close to the boarding gate. So Corsair, they have lounges in the Martinique, they have in Guadeloupe, and they have the Réunion Island. In Montreal, we share the lounge with Air France Lounge. This is very important. I was talking about the access, priority access. This is just extra to tell you, like you can just share it with your passenger. If you would like just to have an access, a prior checking, a bag delivery, and also the priority access to cross the border check-in and security, it's just a fee for the passenger in economy class is €20. The safety for Corsair is very important. So safety, it's our priority. The renewal of part of 145 certification and guaranteeing top level maintenance and safety, as well the renewal of ISO certificate issued by IATA. So last, I would like to talk about the Club Corsair. It's the loyalty program. For Corsair, it's a little bit different than the other airline. So it's a percentage of fare price, including taxes, which is it will be automatically credited to the account of the passenger in euro or in the currency of the choice of the passenger. So they have 3 status. The first one is the club, which is they get 2% of the ticket price, including taxes. The gold, it's 5% of the price, include taxes. And also they have 1 extra piece luggage in addition to the ticket allowance. For the platinum, it's 8% of the ticket price, including also the taxes, plus the additional piece of luggage. And they have access to the lounge access with a companion traveling with them. and also the Corsair priority, including checking and boarding and delivery the luggage. So it's very simple and very useful program. So the benefit for that, so either they can, all the money that they have, it's like a cash back, so they can have a free ticket, or it's a reduced on the fare, or they can use it for any additional services like extra bag for seat selection, upgrade, and also access to lounge. By the way, I didn't mention for the lounge, even for the economy class, they can go to the lounge with a fee of 40 euro, but is it like worth it for the whole day? So if they have a connection more than 5 hours. So also it's valid, this program, it's valid for within 18 months from the last of their flight. And also another advantage, they can offer it to another member for free. So here we go. I would like to share more information about Corsair product, but I have my contact, my email address, if you would like in the future to contact me for more information, and I will be very happy to answer all your questions by the end of the webinar. Now I will pass it over to Jimmy. So here we go, Jimmy, it's your presentation now.
Thank you very much, Ayla. And I guess you could see my screen now, just to make sure.
Yes, we do.
Perfect. So first and foremost, Ayla, thank you for that presentation. Very in-depth and very nice presentation too, look-wise. Hats off to you.
Thank you so much.
So now that Ayla has shown you the features and benefits of booking and traveling with Corsair, I'm here to tell you why it's worth your while to make that next Corsair booking on Agencia Global specifically. So as mentioned, we are a consolidator with offices in Canada and the US. We've got time of ticketing agreements with basically every airline under the sun for both points of sale. So my intent today is basically just to go through the booking process with you, show you what we've put together, and then of course answer any questions you would have at the end. So when you visit www.agenciaglobal.com, you'll end up right here on the landing page. If you want to register, you just click that little registration button. Now, for those who joined a couple of minutes, I saw a few new hellos after we introduced ourselves. Registering to Agencia is part of the conditions to qualify for the raffle. So just to recap one more time, we ask that you attend the entirety of the presentation, including the Q&A at the end, that you register an account on Agencia. If you are already an Agencia agent, don't worry, you still qualify for the raffle, and you need to make at least one Corsair booking between now and May 31st. So if you like what you see after the presentation and you are interested in registering, again, www.agenciaglobal.com, just click on that register button. It'll shoot you right over here. So we ask you for your business name and agency email, some form of accreditation, IATA, ARC, CLIA, TIDS, TICO, TRUE, and so on. That number there, your contact info, and then at the bottom right over here, the name of a master agent. So long story short, a master agent could add agents underneath them, regular agents. Master agents could access the agency's commission info, commission statements, access everyone's bookings, as well as modify the agency info, whereas a regular agent would just have access to their bookings basically and be able to make their own bookings. So once registered, you'd be able to simply log in, and the first thing you'll see when you log in is your dashboard. So on the dashboard, you could proceed immediately to booking a flight or a car rental. You'll notice that since we're promoting Corsair now in the month of May, you've got their banner showing up right there when you log in. Now, what I'm about to say isn't necessarily Corsair specific, but it applies to any airline's banner when you see it on Agencia. We're not big on simple brand awareness. So if you are an Agencia user or intend on becoming an Agencia user, I would encourage you to keep an eye out for banners, because if a banner is up on Agencia, that means there's something in it for you. 99% of the time, that being a bonus commission or some sort of coupon bonus, like a fixed amount or a percentage. So please do keep an eye out for them. If applicable to a certain O&D pair, we'll make sure that the banner is up so you know who's putting that little extra in your pocket. So you'll see here, like if you do click on it, you get a quick little pop-up. The T's and C's are very simple. We're paying 2% bonus commission on all Corsair bookings between today and May 31st. If you select a commissionable published fare, you get the 2% over and above that. If you're booking a net fare, you still get the 2%. Now, the way we run our bonus commission programs is they don't show up as a time of ticketing commission. They're actually reconciled after the fact. So for example, if you see that you stand to make $10 on your booking, but there's a $10 coupon bonus, that would make it a total compensation of $20. So just a quick note there. And then we do try to keep you up to date here in the Agencia Global news section. So you'll see we have a bunch of bonus commission alerts and so on. So keep an eye out also when you log in on the news section, and if any bonus programs have been added, they'll be there too. So on to making a booking. It's a 3-page process. Step 1 to get to page 1 would be to simply click on book flights, and you'll get to your search page right over here. So you could book a round trip, a one-way, or a multi-city allowing for 5 city pairs. And then right over here, you'll see we've got a currency selector. So this isn't just for currency, but actually point of sale as well. So I actually noticed somebody in the chat had tuned in from Atlanta. Howdy back to you too. If you are a US agent looking to book in Canada, or a Canadian agent, let's say you're in Windsor, you want to make some bookings out of Detroit, you're in Vancouver, you want to book out of Seattle, if you click on USD, you won't only have your fares displayed in US dollars, but this tool here is actually a point of sale selector. So let's say you're in Vancouver looking to book out of Seattle, I would encourage you to click on USD, because then you'll get access to all our time of ticketing commissions and net fares for point of sale US, which tend to be better than the Canadian ones for point of origin US. In this case, we'll be making a Corsair booking, so obviously we'll click on CAD. Then it's as simple as just entering your O&D. So let's say we're going from Ayla, you sold me, I'm booking Montreal to Paris. Mm-hmm. And as she mentioned, Corsair is a seasonal carrier, so we'll book a bit further out into August. Now, you could put up to 9 passengers on one PNR with Agencia, so you would simply provide the breakdown of adults, children, infants on lap, and on seat. You could also isolate a specific cabin class for your search if you'd like. You could select nonstop flights only, and then you could disable multi-tickets as well. So what do I mean by disabling multi-tickets? Agencia is set to run searches not only for round-trip fares, but one-way ticket combinations. So if 2 one-way tickets, even if it's from the same carrier, happen to be less expensive than the True Blue round-trip fare, that'll be included in your search results. So then you could mark up your ticket by more or sell at a lower price, or, that's to your discretion. We're not going to tell you how to make your money. And then you could also select preferred airlines. So you would just, put the comma there, sorry. So by spelling out the airline name, there you go, and I hit my caps lock. If I were to check this box off, then it would only show me Corsair results. So that's pretty much it for page 1 of 3. Once you click on search flights, we'll wait maybe about 25 to 30 seconds as it runs through the GDS and our API connections with various partners to get the most aggressive pricing available. And then the first thing you're going to see at the top of your second page is just the basic recap of what we selected on the first one. So we asked for our fares to be in CAD. We're going Montreal to Orly, round trip, August 19th to 26th. And I selected 5 adults specifically for what I'm going to show you on page 3. Now, the next thing we see is our carrier matrix. So here are the multi-tickets that it found, for example, and here's your True Blue round trip with Corsair. The prices that you see are for all 5 packs, including taxes. So don't worry, our fares aren't that expensive. It's not $6,800 a piece. That's $6,800 for all 5 passengers. Now, whenever you're shopping on O&D that might have more traffic on it, let's say JFK to Rome, you're going to have a bunch of airlines showing up here, significantly more than what are in this search, for example. So what the carrier matrix does is organize all airlines in ascending order of price from left to right. The lowest price overall, being this one right over here, for example, will always be highlighted in green, regardless of number of stops. And then the lowest price from the other 2 rows would be highlighted in blue. Now, if you have a flexible customer, we also give you our flexible day matrix. So what this does is add and subtract 3 days from both the outbound and the inbound date and give you the best available price for every date combination. So the price corresponding to the date we selected is highlighted in gray right in the middle. That's the 6862 that's highlighted. Anything in white is at the same price or more expensive. Anything green is less expensive. And anything specifically in the darker shade of green, this 5087 right over here, is the lowest price of the matrix. Now, when you hover over it, you'll notice we highlight the column and the row for each price just to make it a bit easier on the eyes for you. And you've probably noticed that my mouse turned into a little finger pointer. So all these prices are hyperlinked. If, for example, your customer is flexible and is willing to reschedule their trip or book their trip for the 21st to the 29th instead of the 19th to the 26th, and you do want to get that price of 5,087, just click on it. Your whole search is going to rerun. It's going to preserve the O&D. It's going to preserve the PAX count and just modify your travel dates accordingly. So just in the interest of saving time, I won't bore you with doing that right now. And then right down here, we have our available flights. So it'll present our options in ascending order of price from top to bottom. And then what are we looking at here from left to right? If you see a little blue line next to the airline, that means that branded fares are available. You then have your validating carrier, your fare type, so you've got your net versus your pub right over here, your RBD, price per pax. When you hover over it, it'll give you the breakdown of the base fare and the taxes. If you click on the little blue luggage icon right over here, you'll get a new window that opens. Hopefully you could see that, and my presentation is not just locked on to Agencia's page, but basically a new window is going to open and shoot you right over to the airline's page for baggage information. We want to make sure that nothing gets lost in translation if the airline updates anything and maybe someone on our end was off and didn't get around to updating things. So we send you straight to the airline. As long as they update their info, you'll have the most up-to-date info available to you at the click of a button in Agencia. And then when you click on View Flights, then you'll get the itineraries available. Now, in this case, Corsair has one flight available that day. And again, what are we looking at from left to right? We've got our outbound selection on the left, inbound selection on the right, number of seats remaining. If there are 9 or more seats available, as we all know, the GDS still presents it as 9. So that's why we've got the number 9 over here. Your flight number, once again, your RBD, segment OD, departure and arrival times, and flight duration. If you click on this little blue eye right over here, you'll get another pop-up. Same concept as the luggage icon. We're sending you straight to the source of info. So here are the fare rules straight out of Amadeus. If you have any questions regarding fare rules, just feel free to click on that little blue eye. And then when you click on the outbound and the inbound fare, you'll notice that you've got a bunch of fare families showing up. Now, I am in a demo account that our developers play with a bit, so yeah, there you go. You'll see the word null here and there, but you wouldn't see that as a True Blue agent in your account. When you hover over them, it'll show you what's included for each fare family. And let's say, for example, you do have customers who are willing to go for the classic over the basic. You see here your price per adult is $13.72. Once you click on it, the price adjusts accordingly, and now you're selling your classic fare family as opposed to the basic one. In the case of a busier O&D, again, let's say, for example, JFK to Rome, you've got a bunch of airlines. You could even filter your results. So, for example, if you only want net fares that you could mark up, you don't want 2-stop itineraries, and so on. Once you click on Apply Filters, your search results right here would only display results corresponding to the filters you selected. So we're already done with page 2 of 3. We don't click on View Flights. We click on Book, and we're off to page 3 of 3, so just a little wait as the system confirms seat availability. And then the top of the third page, same concept as the top of the second page. We're just going to recap the information that was selected just to make sure that there were no errors. So here's the itinerary we selected. Your outbound and your inbound flights are separated with blue highlighting. If you forgot to click on the little blue luggage icon on the previous page, you could do so here. Now that the fare is actually selected, when you hover over it, it'll show how many pieces of luggage are included. So for the fare family I selected, there aren't any. For anyone who noticed me clicking on this button, you wouldn't see it in your account. That button, basically, when I click on it, fills out the forms right over here with fake passenger info, so I could proceed with the booking without having to bore you and having you watch me do that. We do offer travel insurance. We have a partnership with Manulife for Point of Sale Canada, and we are working on getting something for the US. So if you're not already working with a provider, or let's say you're not crazy about the incentives that provider does offer you, feel free to shop around in Agencia too. So quick example right here, if we were to select the global all-inclusive travel protection, once you click on your coverage type, you'll get basically what's included with that coverage. It's total price. And then just to make your sales pitch a bit easier, we've provided you the price per pax per day. So rather than saying, hey, for $1,200, this is what you'll get, you could say for $30 per person per day, basically. And it is pretty lucrative to sell this insurance. So on a total price, tax included of $1,214, you're looking at making $491 right over here on this. So we'll just get rid of the coverage and focus once again on the airfare. Once you get to the price breakdown section, this is where you see how much you stand to make, what the charges will look like on the customer's credit card, how much commission you're making. So you'll notice here, for example, it's showing 0 commission. But as mentioned at the beginning, when I clicked on the pop-up, you'll notice at the bottom in red print, we do mention that bonus commissions are always reconciled after the fact. So you still stand, in this case here, this $3,500, you still stand to make $70.60 of bonus commission, even if you don't apply any markup onto your ticket. Now, how do we add the markup? Very simple. We've got the agency markup section right over here. If you want to know how much you're allowed to mark up your ticket by, we encourage you just to hover over the little question mark over there, and you'll see 2 numbers. So number 1, how much does the airline allow for? Number 2, how much does Agencia allow for? And you'll see we've got a pretty high number up there, $7,060. Basically, will allow you to mark up by up to double the base fare right over here. Now, here we've got a max allowable markup of $620. So let's say we're marking this up by $100 per pax. We see the markup now has shown up in the agency payout section. The base fare per pax is intact. You've got your taxes and fees. If you hover over the little question mark right over here, it'll show you the breakdown of those taxes. Then you've got your subtotal, your markup, and your total per pax of $1,472 versus $1,372, and your grand total right over here. You could then see the charges that are being applied to the customer's credit card. And this is where I wanted to get into one of the features that Agencia offers, which to my knowledge, nobody else does. And it allows you to mark up your fare by more than what airlines allow for. So let's say, you add a service fee, or you're actually using multiple systems, one for a car rental, one for a hotel, one for what have you. You could use Agencia to offer one package price for everything. And the way to do that basically is, let's say now we want to mark this up by $2,500 rather than only $500. You could enter that right over here. Now, what any consolidator on the market is going to allow you to do is charge the entirety of the fare plus the max allowable markup on the airline's merchant account, and then the difference on theirs. So Agencia, as you'll see here under pricing strategy, is set to lowest price by default. What we mean by lowest price is that if you want to mark up your fare by $2,500, the lowest price you could charge is $94.21, but you'll have 2 separate charges. You'll note also that there's a service fee applied to anything that goes on our merchant account. That's basically just to offset the cost that we face by using it. But now, let's say you're in a position where you've offered this as a package price, right? And actually, we built this tool based on agent feedback that some agents were actually shying away from marking up their tickets by as much as they thought they could, just because they didn't want to have that second line item on the customer's credit card, which would then open them to the third degree over, what's that second charge about? How much did I pay for this? How much did I pay for that? I thought it was a package price. So this is where we've added a tool that, to the best of my knowledge, is exclusive to us in the industry right now. If you go to pricing strategy and select single charge rather than lowest price, you will note the price is probably going to go up to the $9,700 area. Once we click on single charge, no, a bit less, $9,657. So the reason the price went up a bit is because now we're forcing the entirety of the transaction to our merchant account. So at that point, if you want to get back down, you could always adjust your markup to $2,300, make a bit less, or if the customer is willing to pay the higher price, you can then include the entirety of your $2,500 markup right over here. But now the worst case scenario for, post-booking questions that you would get is, hey, you're at ABC Travel, I booked a Corsair ticket, what's up with Agencia showing up on my credit card statement? And that's obviously easy to explain. We issue tickets for you, we're your wholesaler, that's why Agencia is showing up on the credit card statement. So up to you whether you want to have two separate charges at a lower price, or you think you can make more on your booking and you want to add a markup that you want to hide, then please feel free to use the single charge pricing strategy right over here. And what's great about it is we all know, and look, this also applies to point of sale US for those who tuned in from the US. We all know that no matter how aggressive a consolidator will get, there are certain airlines, certain O&Ds for which there is no time of ticketing incentive whatsoever. We get nothing that we could share with you. So unless you do apply a markup to that fare, you're basically doing volunteer work. And that's why we find this tool very useful, because in situations like that, you could even mark up published fares by as much as you'd like, and will allow you to use that single charge feature. So for domestic US, for example, if you're booking an LAX to JFK, there's nothing out there. No one's paying a single penny on that. So if you do want to make some money, add your $5, $10, $15 markup to it, use the single charge feature, and then you've hidden your markup altogether. So now let's say, you have these 5 friends who are looking to travel to Paris together. You've gotten them to agree to the price of $19.31 a piece. It's all going to be charged in one transaction. You're making your $2,500. You think you're good to go. But unfortunately, each one of them takes their respective credit card out, and they're each looking to use their card because one wants to collect Canadian Tire money, the other one's getting cash back at Costco, the other one's getting air miles and scene points and so on. So unfortunately, in this case, this is where generally you would have to go back to the first page and proceed to booking PNR 1 of 5, because you could only accept one credit card as form of payment on that PNR. This is another tool that Agencia has brought to the market to make that part of your life easier as a travel agent, and will allow you to accept multiple credit cards as form of payment on one PNR for cases like this where you have people traveling together and they're each looking to use their own card. So how do we go about that? When you get to the payment info section, you'll notice single payment is selected by default, meaning one person's going to use their card for everyone. At that point, you could proceed with entering your customer's info, credit card info, click on agree to terms and conditions and hit book and pay, and you're off to the races. But let's say everyone does want to use their own card. In that case, click on multiple payment. You'll notice that a drop-down menu will appear that allows you to use as many credit cards as there are customers. And then when we go down to the payment section, it's grayed out. It's telling you need to assign your your customers, to their respective credit cards. So that's why I clicked the autofill button at the top of my page. Here are the 5 customers it created. Here are my 5 credit card slots. We've created a very simple drag and drop system. Assign each customer to their respective card. They've each got their $19.31.44 right over here, a couple of pennies off since it's not perfectly divisible by 5. But then when you get to the payment section, everyone's got their respective tab right over here. So Carolina's on card 1. We would then put Icy, that's an interesting name, on card 2, and so on. We've got Bertram on card 4 and on card 3. And anyways, I won't make you watch me do that for 5 credit cards, but basically, again, you've got Bertram here, Icy here, Carolina here, and so on. So once you enter your PAX info, your PAX credit card info, at that point, once you click on book and pay, you'll get to your confirmation page. You'll be given a 9-digit Agencia Global confirmation number. If you have any questions between then and the time you receive your ticket, you could reach out to us. I will put our contact info on the screen shortly. You could reach out to us either with this little chat bubble right over here. You could send us an email, or you could give us a shout at 1-844-544-FAIR. Again, it'll be displayed on the screen, so don't rush to take any notes. But now you have one PNR booked, having accepted one credit card per customer, and then your invoice, I'm not clicking on book and pay just so we don't create a booking that we have to void after the fact, but your invoice that's auto-generated by Agencia, both your itinerary and your invoice are auto-generated with your agency's info on the top, will have forced the markup that you applied onto the base fare. So it'll actually show service fee 0, and that's what we mean by being able to hide unlimited markup, basically. You're presenting a package price, that's the way it's going to show, and that's it. Now, let's say we don't have 5 people traveling together who each want to use their own card. Let's say this is 2 couples traveling together, one of which has a teenager accompanying them. At that point, select 2 cards, grab one of the packs, shoot them over here. Now you've got card 1 for $5,800, card 2 for just shy of $3,900, and you've got your 2 card tabs here. So enter card 1, card 2, click on book and pay, and once again, 1 PNR for 5 packs over 2 cards. Now, for anyone wondering, we don't allow for any fare splitting. So Carolina over here, for example, can't use her CIBC card for $1,000 and her BMO card for the other $931. A passenger's full fare does have to be charged to 1 credit card, but we will allow for 1 credit card per customer, up to 1 credit card per customer on 1 PNR. So that's basically what the booking process is like. Hopefully, you found that it's a very simple booking process. Everything on Agencia is web-based. You don't need any GDS knowledge on your end. We manage all post-booking for you, so just reach out to us if you need anything. And registering is free. We don't charge any ticketing fees. We share 100% of our upfront incentives. So if we're getting a 4% commission from an airline, for example, we're not going to pay you 3.5. We're going to pay you the full 4. The net fare right over here that I selected, if we go back down to the payment page, this base fare of $35.30 is exactly what Corsair has filed for us in the GDS. We don't mark up our net fares either. So it's totally free to use. The only time we will charge a fee is a modification fee outside of the void period for voluntary changes. Obviously, in the case of a major schedule change or anything like that, we're not going to charge you, or else that could become a significant liability for you, especially considering what we all just went through with the pandemic. So if you do have any questions, I would encourage you to reach out to us. So here's our contact info. Reach out to us at contact@agenciaglobal.com. You could reach us also at 1-844-544-FARE, and by live chat as well, right over here. Our email, phone, and live chat hours of operation are right over here, as well as for those joining us from La Belle Province here in Quebec, our French hours of operation are right over here as well. If you do like what you saw and you'd like to learn more about Agencia, I know I kind of speak quickly and I ran through that as quickly as possible, not to keep everyone on the call forever. Please do send a one-on-one webinar request right over here, and that'll get shot right over to me, and we'll set something up at your convenience and go over things a bit more in depth. That said, once again, thank you all very much for tuning in. Hopefully, you learned a lot of great things from Ayla's presentation and are interested in working with us going forward. And Zephin, at that point, I guess the floor is yours, sir, for some Q&A.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. And thank you to Ayla as well. I'm just going to pull up Ayla's slides again, and we will get started with the Q&A now. So just want to say again, though, thank you so much, Ayla and Jimmy, for the great presentations. And you're getting lots of emojis coming through here. And folks, feel free to submit your questions in the chat, as we'll, I don't think we have any yet. So I'll maybe just give it a moment here so that people can ask any questions that you may have. Although there's a good chance that Ayla and Jimmy answered all of your questions in the presentation. So I'll give it a moment here for you to submit your questions in the chat if you have them. And Ayla and Jimmy, I find it helpful if the emails are just in the chat. So would you mind just using this quick minute to just type your email addresses into the chat for everyone, and we can send them that way. Those will also be included in my follow-up email as well, so you can find them there. Great. And looks like we have a question here. So is the markup sent to agency or to us directly? I think that's a question for Jimmy. Do you mind chiming in on that, Jimmy?
Yes, so it would be sent to the master agency, like the host agency, and then they would reconcile with you directly. So basically, in the case of a host agency, the one who's adding agents would be the quote-unquote master agent. They would then add a profile for you under them. Your commission would be paid to them, and they would then in turn reconcile. So, I did say, for example, we share 100% of our time of ticketing incentives, but we're not in the business of telling people how to run their own show. So if your host agent is providing, with a bunch of marketing tools and all that good stuff, but they happen to share, as a result, 95% of the commission we pay them, then, you know, we don't get involved in that process, which is why we pay the host agency, and then they would share, you know, the commission with you as per the terms of your direct agreement with them. I just saw another question come in that's Agencia specific from Inez, so I'll move on to that one, Zephin. Agencia University is actually not available right now, so I was in a demo account. We're in the process of rebuilding it. Long story short, it's not, as the name would kind of imply, it's not kind of like a certification program. It's more of a resource page that we're looking at reviving. So prior to the pandemic, a bunch of our airline partners, and you know what, I'll just share my screen again because I left some old ones up there just for demo purposes. So once you would enter Agencia University, let's say if we take this Fiji Airways one, for example, this is all material from 2019, but this is what the page would look like. Basically, we would tell our airline partners, hey, send me whatever info you want to convey to agents. We'll put it up on Agencia University for you, because at the end of the day, I get spammed with a bunch of promotional airline emails all the time, and I only get a fraction of what agencies do. So this way it was kind of like, hey, if I want to learn more about Corsair, if I want to learn more about Fiji, for example, then, you know, feel free to click on the Agencia University page, and whatever the airline has prepared for us is what would show there. So in this case here, as I mentioned, it was prior to the pandemic. Here's their product deck, for example, a few quick sales pitches. Some airline partners had embedded videos. I believe, if I were to look quickly, I think Air New Zealand had done that. So there's their presentation. And here you go, like they would embed videos. So it's basically just a resource page for our travel agency partners. To be honest, throughout the pandemic, there wasn't that many partners who were that interested in adding information there. And of course, developer resources were not what they were prior to the pandemic, during the pandemic. So we're looking at reviving that, but for now you're only seeing that because I'm in a demo account. But I do look forward to reviving that, and yes, it is a great page for updates and information.
Great, thank you, Jimmy. And yeah, another comment there. I've dealt with Agencia before, and it's amazing. So that's good to hear.
All right. So on that note, Zephin, sorry. I'd like to take back everything I said about the raffle. Shai, congratulations. You have won a $250. I'm just kidding. But thanks for the awesome comment. I appreciate that.
Good stuff. And there was also a question there. Can we get the link to review the view the recording again? And yes, just to answer that, we will send a full recording of the presentation once it is processed and available. It'll be accessible on our YouTube channel, and I will be sending the link in an email after the presentation within about 24 hours once it's processed. So that's great.
Sounds good. There was just one more question I caught in the chat a bit earlier that you may have missed. Someone was asking if the fares are in USD or CAD. You actually get to select that on the search page, so it's up to you.
Okay, great. So yeah, you'll be able to select that there. That's awesome. Okay, good stuff. Well, thank you everybody so much for being here, and huge thank you to Ayla and Jimmy for this excellent presentation. They both did a great job, so be sure to say thanks in the chat to these awesome presenters. It was a lot of fun working with them, so thanks so much to you both. Right after this webinar, everyone, you will be redirected to the Agencia Global registration page where you can access more information from them. And that's just our exit URL. So it'll send you there automatically after the webinar. A reminder to please subscribe to Baxter Media's publications for all your industry news. You can subscribe at travelpress.com by clicking the link pinned to the top of the chat box in blue there. And also be sure to check out the Baxter Media LinkedIn page. It's a great way to hear about what we're doing. We love bringing you helpful content like this. So be sure to check out all of our upcoming webinars at travelpress.com. And be sure to also check out our new website. We actually just updated it. So travelpress.com has been updated, and our team has put a lot of work into making it easy for you to find information and news that you need. So be sure to check that out. Again, we'll be sending this webinar recording link to each of you within about 24 hours. And all of our past webinar recordings can be found on the Baxter Media YouTube channel or at travelpress.com under the Agent Education tab. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up the presentation today. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And Ayla and Jimmy, thank you again for being here as well.
Thank you, Zefan, for this beautiful webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jimmy, for the great presentation. I was very happy to share this webinar with you. And thank you for all for listening for my presentation and the Jimmy presentation. And don't forget, Corsair, we're going to start from Montreal on the 2nd of June. It's a seasonal flight. Let's passenger enjoy the summer to go to Paris or other destination of Corsair. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you very much, Ayla. Pleasure partnering with you on this. Zefan, always a pleasure. And most of all, thank you all for taking time out of your day to attend. So once again, just to recap for the prize, if you're still on this call, congrats. You've checked off box 1 of 3. Please feel free to register an account on Agencia and make at least one Corsair booking between today and May 31st. And we'll be reaching out directly to the winner on June 1st. So you've got 28 days to go to make that booking.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining in, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.